Would everything have been different if Princess Diana had become queen by chance? Would Prince Harry have remained by his brother's side instead of withdrawing from royal life? Would there have been so many internal divisions? These are questions that still haunt the minds of the British people, and perhaps even the hearts of some within the royal family, a throne at a crossroads. The British monarchy has survived wars, betrayals, and centuries of turmoil, but today it faces a crisis that comes not from outside, but from deep within its core. If Princess Anne continues her relentless resistance to Camilla, if Princess Catherine continues keeping their distance, in silence, and if even King Charles begins to question family unity, what implications does this have for the future of the crown? Will Camilla remain in her position, or will a way be found to demote her to preserve internal peace? And even more so, could this division become the beginning of the end for the monarchy as we know it? The world watches closely as the gates of Buckingham Palace remain. Closed outside, the public can only speculate about the true conflicts raging within. But one thing is certain: Anne will not give up. Camilla will not be easily pushed aside, and Catherine will not go unnoticed. The royal shakeup. A future queen takes a stand. For centuries, the British monarchy has functioned as a perfect choreography of tradition, power, and formality. Every gesture, every bow, every respected rule has helped to sustain the dignity of the crown. But with the arrival of a new era, a seemingly insignificant gesture has sparked great controversy. Princess Catherine's deliberate yet subtle refusal to curtsy to Camilla seemed, at first glance, like an oversight. A simple nod, instead of the traditional curtsy, nothing that could alter royal protocol. But within the royal family's rigid code of behavior, that omission was a statement, one that could change the power dynamics within the institution. Is Catherine simply updating royal customs? Or is this a nonverbal stance that reveals her true loyalties? Princess Catherine, the future queen. Catherine's future is under scrutiny. She will be the next lucky queen when Prince William ascends to the throne. She is not just a royal by marriage. She is a figure of stability, elegance, and commitment to duty. She has been carefully molded to represent the next generation of the crown. But with that role also comes immense pressure. As a future queen, she is expected to set an example, embodying the continuity of royal traditions. At the same time, she is part of a younger, more modern monarchy that must adapt to remain relevant. In the 21st century, this duality makes her every gesture significant. When she chose not to bow to Camilla, the world took notice. The curtsy scandal is a challenge or an evolution. For centuries, curtsying has been an unspoken norm within the royal hierarchy. A physical act of respect and submission. A deep curtsy indicates devotion. A slight bow is much less compromised. That's why when Catherine chose to simply nod instead of a traditional curtsy to Camilla, the message was clear: she does not feel obliged. Follow the old ways, but why make that decision? Is Catherine silently challenging Camilla's authority? Or is she sending a signal that the monarchy must evolve and leave behind ceremonial gestures that no longer have a place in a modern society? The winds of change have been blowing since King Charles ascended the throne. The royal family has undergone a profound, though discreet, transformation. Charles I was officially crowned monarch 70 years after the reign of his mother, Queen Elizabeth I. His vision is clear: adapting the monarchy to current values is over. The days when the royal family remained untouchable are over. The public's reaction: divided by a curtsy. Catherine's decision not to take the traditional curtsy has divided public opinion. For some, it was a refreshing gesture, a sign of independence within an institution deeply rooted in the past. They see Catherine's action as a modern rebellion, a silent declaration that even royals can think for themselves. For these supporters, respect should not be defined by ancient formalities. They see Catherine's choice as a symbol of progress. For the most ardent traditionalists, the omission was a royal scandal in their eyes. The curtsy is not just a show of respect for a person, but an act that honors centuries of history. They argue that if future monarchs begin to abandon these traditions, the monarchy could lose its essence, its structure, and its purpose. For them, what she did, Catherine's, wasn't a personal gesture, but rather a breach of protocol that weakens the institution. Although it may seem like a minor issue, this controversy goes beyond a simple physical movement. It reveals an internal rift in the royal family, a divided palace. Behind major royal events and rehearsed smiles at public appearances, tensions continue to grow in the palace,